Alright, yeah, and welcome back to the third and final episode with our Mono Black Beatdown subscriber deck. As always, if you do want your deck to be featured in a future episode, then be sure to either send it to me in the comments section below, via email, or on Twitter. Whichever one is fine with you is fine with me. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get into the games. I'll see you there. Okay, we're in and on the draw. We've got 3 lands and 2 removal spells we can cast, and an Erebos' Titan on turn 4 if we hit a land along the way. It's not the perfect hand, but I think it's an acceptable one. So let's take it. There are far worse hands we could have gotten, so I'm not gonna get cheeky with it and gamble this way. We get a Gifted Aetherborn, so that's just made this hand a little bit better. So now if we don't have anything to remove on turn 2, we can actually put down our own threat. So it's green-white for our opponent into Oath of Nissa. Is this going to be Super Friends? Don't make it Super Friends. I'm so bored of it. Come on, don't do this. Tireless Tracker. Okay. Okay. Could be a Revolt deck, potentially, which is in Abzan colours for the most part. Let's go Swamp into Gifted Aetherborn. Let's get our threat down. He's going to go with his Tireless Tracker, but there's not a chance in hell that he'll be trading off with our Aetherborn. We'll probably end up just grasping it anyway, and not taking those kind of chances. Because we need it off the board. It's getting removed one way or another. We don't really have a board wipe right now, nor is this kind of the board state to be doing that kind of thing. And I don't think we can wait until turn 5 and also get lucky on lands to use a Gilt Leaf Winnower. So it's going to be Rogue's Passage into Grasp of Darkness and then swing for 2 here, I think. There's an argument for waiting until he goes to attacks to see if he has any pump spells or anything like that, but he likely doesn't, and if he does, it's probably not Blessed Alliance. What's the one that... The one that gives him Hexproof and +2/+2. The really annoying one. A Suppression Bonds for our Aetherborn. Yeah, that's fine. Come on, land. 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 Liliana. Alright. That is a very big threat. Not immediately, but it puts a clock on him. He has to answer this pretty soon, and we've got removal, and hopefully if we draw a land we've got a decent creature to block and keep us safe as well. So let's see, shall we? Just notice it's a foil Suppression Bonds. Ooh, there's an Avacyn. Avacyn's gonna die to murder, so there's no problem there. She's indestructible until the end of the turn, and then once she's not, murder does the job. So let's plus Liliana. And same goes again, he might have pump spells that we could potentially 2-for-1 him, but it's Blossoming Defense, that's the name of it. I don't want to risk a Blossoming Defense which will kill our Liliana. It's just, I don't think there's enough incentive to do that, so we'll just main phase some removal. We only have to get Liliana up to 7, and then we can ultimate her, and we'll probably be fine. The only answers he's probably got are... Oh, that's a problem. Alright. When you've got answers constantly, you've got answers constantly. Well, I guess we go Erebos' Titan, so if he does want to attack our Liliana, we get to swing in with the Titan as at least a little bit of a threat there. And there's nothing in our graveyard we want Lily to grab. She's going to make Gisela a 2/2, which buys us some time. We could also go Scrap Heap Scrounger and Implement here. And then next turn, if we hit a land, we can Titan, sack the Implement, and take a card out of his hand. But we sacrifice a little bit of land. We could also do it the opposite way around, so... Yeah, we'll just go Erebos' Titan here. Let's get that extra bit of damage in. If we draw a land, we can deal with Gisela as well. which would be nice. He's quite close to Bracella, which is a worry. In fact, she costs 7, so the land off of Bracella. And if he gets Gisela, then we're just done for. Ooh. Kythion's Irregulars to tap down creatures. Well, ain't that annoying. Liliana takes 2. Sure. This is problematic now. We really do need a land. There's a land. Beautiful. Alright. Now I think we're pretty good. We can Sky Sovereign and deal with Gisela, I think. He's going to tap down our Erebus' Titan at the end of turn, though. Which means that we can't crew up Sky Sovereign to block the other. If we did it the other way around, then we Sky Sovereign, he does it on our turn anyway. So the order, I don't think, really makes any difference. And then the turn after, we Guilt Leaf, take out the other one. And then we should be back on track. So Sky Sovereign coming down. Hopefully he doesn't have any pump. I think he's going to go for the tap here. Yeah, that's fine. Let's take care of the Gisela. And then let's make Kythion's Irregulars a 2-2. Which keeps Liliana alive for quite some time. Guildleaf Winnower comes down to take it out next turn. Lily pluses to minus on whatever other creature he ends up having. Oh no. It's a Bracella. Actually, Guildleaf Winnower. Hang on. Ah ha ha! We have an answer. Okay. Sweet. We're all good. Panic over. 2 damage coming in at Liliana. Yeah, her power and toughness is not equal. We can't cast things with mana cost 3 or less. Guildleaf Winnower costs 5, deals with Bracella quite nicely. Then we crew up with Sky Sovereign, take out the Irregulars, and get in a fair amount of damage. So I think we've really got this game now. Doesn't matter. Down goes Bracella. I'm really certain that he thought he was going to win when that came out, but unfortunately for you, it's not the case. All right. Minus on the plus on the Irregulars. Don't really need to, but we're gonna anyway. And crew up with the Winnower. Get in for 11. Kill his Irregulars. All right, we we kind of got lucky on some of our draws there, but that just shows how good the deck can be. If we can actually do that. It's how consistently we can do it is the question. Plays a land. And another Bruna. Ah, oh, you are kidding me. We need another Guildleaf Winnower, and I can't remember if there's more than one in this deck. We can make our Titans unblockable. That is a thing we can do. Is this an enter the battlefield or a cast trigger? I think our opponent... Yeah, our opponent made a mistake. Alright, continue playing. What our opponent thought they could do there was play Bruna to get back the other Bruna, to then get back the Gisela, so they'd have a Bruna and a Bracella. However, Bruna is not only legendary, which means you can't keep both of them, but Bruna only gets a creature back if it's on the cast. So our opponent really should have gotten Gisela there, so that they could get Bracella, and we probably may have lost there because we couldn't Oath of Liliana this Bracella away like we're about to. So, Oath of Liliana makes him sacrifice his final Bruna. Goodbye, Bruna. We can plus our Liliana, not that we need to. We could crew up our Sky Sovereign, but we don't need to. We're just going to swing in here. and go for the victory. Alright, that went really well. I think we might have lost if our opponent hadn't have punted right at the end there, but, you know, we'll see. We were doing well anyway, so there was a good chance we could have pulled out of that anyway. Right, I'll see you in the next game. Alright, we're in and on the draw. We have good cards, but we're a bit flooded. So we've got 4 lands, we've got a Gifted Aetherborn on turn 2, and we've got Removal and a Sky Sovereign. We kind of have to draw into stuff, but there are worse hands, and I don't feel very lucky this week, so I'm not going to take any chances. So we're going to go with this, and hopefully Read the Bones is actually quite good. That allows us to set up our draws. So our opponent's on red. Are they on multicolored? They are green-red. Wonder what they could be going for. It could be ramp. Could be landfall. It's been a long time since I've seen landfall. That was good back in the day. Right, swamp into Scrappy Scrounger for the most damage. I guess so. Yeah. Why not? Next turn, probably Read the Bones. Goes with a Twin Bolt. Maybe not. Goes with a Fiery Impulse. So we know he has a Twin Bolt in hand. And burning away a Scrounger is about as good as it could possibly be for us, so... because that is a creature we can get back whenever we want. It might be werewolves. Convicted Killer. One of the worst werewolves. Oh yeah. It's just a 2/2 that turns into a 4/4. Scary. Right, let's go Gifted Aetherborn so he doesn't attack in. And pass the turn. We can Read the Bones next turn if we want to do that. We've also got Oath of Liliana to take out one of his creatures. Though we don't get to choose which. We know he's got a Twin Bolt as well, so we've got to keep that in mind. If we did block here, for example, he could Twin Bolt away our Aetherborn. Which I'm not sure I exactly want that to happen, so we're probably not going to block if he attacks, and then probably swing in just to make up for the 2 damage that he's dealt. A Chandra, you say? Well, ain't that a problem? We have a Sky Sovereign, but we're a little bit away from it. So he minuses to take down our Aetherborn. Gets to swing in with his Convicted Killer. So we need a hasty answer for that Chandra. Grasp of Darkness. Alright. So, play a Swamp. We've got a Scrounger in the graveyard for a 3/2. If he doesn't play a creature next turn, we can surprise hit him with the Scrounger to potentially take out Chandra. So, we're going to pass, I think, and then he's going to attack him with his Convicted Killer, which will be a 4/4, but that won't make a difference because Grasp will take it out all the same. And then he'll probably play a blocker to keep Chandra safe. Maybe we actually want to grasp the blocker. That is the better plan. Yeah, I think we just pass here. Grasp whatever blocker he's got away. Get Scrounger back to take out Chandra. That's the plan. See if he upsets it. Going to be taking 4 here, though. Not the end of the world. Can easily Oath of Liliana later down the line to get rid of it. Alright, pluses hits a forest on top, so we lose 2 life. And a solitary... what? A solitary hunter. Alright, so Chandra's going down. We're going to grasp the hunter at the back. And then we're going to pause. We can do this now because he's tapped out. Exile our Aetherborn to get back our Scrounger. Next turn we can Oath of Liliana the Branded Howler away. And then we're back on track. We've got card advantage. And we've dealt with one of his biggest threats. If we hit land with Read the Bones, we can Read the Bones and Smuggler's Copter, which actually flips the Branded Howler back to the Convicted Killer, turns it into a 2/2. I think going 4 cards deep, we're bound to hit a land. We've got to get extremely unlucky to not do that. So I think we'll take that risk. Come on, land. Oh, not lands. Come on. Oh my god. Alright. What was that about being extremely unlucky? That's why I didn't mulligan that subpar hand earlier. Yep. It was a gamble. I'm a gambler. What can I say? At least we got a Gifted Aetherborn though. That's bound to stop him from attacking in with a lot of stuff. He still has that Twin Bolt as well. We've got to keep that in mind. So Scrappy Scrounger probably isn't going to last very long. Take 4 here. We're at a virtual 4 with the Twin Bolt in hand, so we're going to need some life linking from the Aetherborn to get back on track. He passes. Okay, land, land, land. Ah! Okay. Okay. Alright, so I think it's probably Aetherborn and Smuggler's Copter. Swing in with our Scrounger. Scrounger can't block, so he might as well attack. You going for the Twin Bolt? If he's going at the Scrounger, that is what I would define a foolish mistake. So we're going to go Aetherborn. We know it's safe. Well, safe enough. We know what was in his hand is no longer there. That's 2 spells cast this turn, which flips back the werewolf into a 2/2, which we can easily block and gain life from. And get out of the burn range that we're kind of worried about. I'd like to see a land here. If we see a land, then we can Sky Sovereign away one of his creatures. Rabid Bite. Yeah, that doesn't work how you expect it to. Exquisite Firecraft. Aetherborn. These are weird plays from our opponent. He just must have another Firecraft in hand. Otherwise I don't really understand that. There's a Grasp of Darkness. So we're in a very tricky situation here. Without that land, there's no Sky Sovereign. We kind of really do need to hold back a blocker, but at the same time we could just Oath of Liliana. I wouldn't mind crewing up the Smuggler's Copter to try hit a land though, because then we can go maybe Yahenni, crew up, play a land, hold up Grasp of Darkness. We take 2, but we're already in lethal burn range for the most part anyway, so... But I think the safest option here is just... It's maybe actually Grasp of Darkness holding up the Scrappy Scrounger. So we can crew up the Copter with the Scrounger then, so that we can block if he has a second creature. Yeah, let's do that. We're quite possibly just dead to burn anyway. Yeah, Exquisite Firecraft, there you go. That's a shame. Tons of misplays from our opponent there, I would say, but he won, so it really makes no difference. You know, as long as the end goal is victory, I don't see how any punts make that much of a difference, to be honest. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. So if you did enjoy the content, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal. Lets me know you're enjoying this series. As always, subscribe for some more Magic Duels content. There should hopefully be some out on Friday with a brand new deck. So stay tuned for that, and if you want to be notified when that gets released, then be sure to hit the little bell icon next to the subscription button to be notified when it gets released. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.